Hello, Edgeria here. Just want to give a quick shout out to Linzer Art for the art you see on screen right now. Go give her a follow on Twitter, on DeviantArt, on Instagram, wherever else you can find her on. And also, I want to give a quick credit to all the music that we use in the video today, all of which will be in the description below, but I just wanted to give a quick shout out here. If you want to skip past this, jump to the timestamp that's on screen right now, and you'll start at our character intros. The first music that we use is Her Legends' 2019 full album, Northern Ambient, Neo-Folk Black Acoustic Metal by Cold Siberian Music. I'm going to say from now, I'm probably going to butcher the rest of these, or half of them, probably most of them. We have Ambient Music, Childhood Nostalgia Deep for Ambient by Rain Music, Silly Lily Love Music. We also have Sands of Mystery Desert Music Royalty Free by Trey Van Zandt. We have Dark Desert Music 1 Hour Ambient Mix by Cryo Chamber. We have Serenity Fantasy Music Royalty Free by Jonathan Segev. We have Mysterious Fantasy Music Magical Blade Beautiful Enchanting Mix by Soul Candle. We have Kevin McLeod's Gaming Weasel Faster version from Eric Archive. We have High Tea Broke Music Chilled Music from Chilled Mixtape. We have 1 Hour Epic Music Mix, Epic Western Music Mix from 1 Hour Station. We have Creepy Ambient Music, quote unquote, The Woods, NDF Production Official. We have RPG Playlist Tavern Indie Music from Scampa. We have Waltz Number 2, Dmitry Shostakovich Music Box from R3 Music Box. We have Dark Gothic Music of Abandoned Castles and Forgotten Temples by Cryo Chamber. And last but not least, we have Forced Supplement Dark Piano Music Royalty Free Music by Jonathan Segev. Thank you to all of you, and enjoy the rest of the video.
I used to serve in the Elite Guard. That was a long time ago. I was young then. Didn't think that anything could go wrong. Little did I know. My military career was short-lived in comparison, but it was more than enough for me. We were all young once, blindly following orders. Always think about your career, but not what is left behind, forgotten. We were blind to our neglect, and families suffered, but I only saw when it was my family that suffered. I came home on a routine vacation, but when I arrived, I didn't have a home left to go to. My town was burned, my people were slaughtered, and my family, they gave their lives to fuel our own hubris. I held the body of my dear Valentina in my arms, and I couldn't continue like this. I resigned from service. I'm sure that earned me some ire, but others would relish in leaving my head from my shoulders. That didn't stop me. So I wandered, looking for work, not being able to think straight. Against my better judgment, I did find work, but they were worse than my previous employer. I was blind once more to their actions, until yet another tragedy struck. They sent me to a small village with a detachment of minions to collect debt payment, and I believed them. The villagers didn't take too kindly to our extortion, and they fought back. I killed indiscriminately until I had to tear apart a family, and I couldn't bring myself to inflict the same pain on another. Then I could see, and I made a choice. I turned on the bastards and took their lives instead. I was not welcome to stay long in the village after what I'd done, but I stayed the night and I had a dream, a summons to a church. I entered and was met with forgiveness from the Raven Queen. She offered me a chance to redeem myself and become one of her paladins, to become a champion of the Raven Queen, and I agreed. It's what Valentina would have wanted. Now I wander with a clear mind. Now it's time to do some good in this world.
Hi, my name's Dason. I'm a dark elf and a monk. Not too long ago, I woke up in a burned down farm, which probably burned down a while ago. I don't have any memories of nothing, just a personality, know-how, and general stuff in the world. I also have some weird ability thing. It's like a starry night sky that covers my skin and helps me punch better, and I can see the vibes and energy in people in a way. In all honesty, I don't let it affect me. As I went on, it mattered less and less. Probably because I want nothing to do with my past. I want a life, peace, and quiet, like most people do. I want to own a farm, crops, and animals. Just a generally peaceful life. However, I want it to be a free life, where I control my fate. Or at least make the choices that guide me towards it. I believe fate kind of guides you to your destiny. So when something bad happens, I get robbed or whatever, I believe it'll sort itself out in the end. However, I think fate is somewhat curved in my favor, if that makes any sense. Like, I should have died, but I didn't. I'm a dark elf in a world where, I'm killed on sight. My free lifestyle doesn't exactly help things. It seems like, I don't know, I think a cleric might call me blessed or something. Maybe I'm just lucky, but I don't see how I can survive this long just on luck. Maybe I think it's fate for me to live or something. I don't know.
So we're really doing this, huh? Alright, let's start from the beginning. My name is Duna Kurogane. About 200 years ago, I was brought to a human orphanage nestled in a small village in the desert region of Sheol. I was named after the founder of the orphanage, and I lived in that town for about 100 years before I decided up and leave to start my own life. I headed to Mako, the hard capital of Sheol. It was a rough start, but I eventually found my footing in the criminal underground as one of the many smugglers that traveled between cities. When I was hitting close to 200, my gang and I were tasked with a simple job. At least, it would have been simple if it weren't for the fact we were found out by the guards. We were ambushed. We were ambushed by them, shot at with crossbows and arrows. It was chaos, and the next thing I knew, one of my friends was shot down before my eyes. We all split up in an attempt to get away. One of the guards managed to get pretty good with his sword, but I thought I was done for, being honest. And then she showed up. Her name was Andrea, a simple human woman who saved my life that night. She hid me from the guards and patched me out with the inn she was at. We ended up talking a lot that night, and she told me about the group she'd spotted. They were called the Coven of the Onyx Fox, dedicated to bringing peace and prosperity. I also thought it was bullshit at first, but she offered me to come back with her and see what it was like. I really only went because it would be a great place to lay low until the guards calmed down. The group was located in an old temple carved into the mountains that border the area. It was honestly peaceful. I wasn't home. I wrote to my friends in an attempt to tell them I was okay. I never received a response from them while I was healing. I was too wrapped up in grief for losing my friend. I didn't even consider the idea of writing letters down to them. I honestly thought they blamed me for what happened and never wanted to see me again. I'll admit, what I did next was selfish and cowardly. I stayed with the cover for the next 2 years instead of facing the consequences of my actions, and I regret it to this day, because everything changed after that. What should have been a normal night of prayer turned into a night of madness for many, including myself. One second everything was calm, and then the next it was just darkness and mayhem. Turns out we'd somehow opened a rift in the Shadowfell. It's all a blur if I'm being honest. All I remember was feeling cold, like I was dying, but also somehow feeling charged with energy. I vaguely recall hearing the others screaming, but I was too focused on the leader of the coven. He was completely calm during his head, smiling as he watched the others run away and cower in fear. It didn't take much to realize that he planned for this, and all I felt was rage. I wanted to hurt him in the most personal way I could, so I went for his most prized possessions. You see, Coven of the Onyx Fox got its name because there was a fox mask that hung from an altar in the temple, along with its staff. It was the only thing I could think of at the time. He retaliated, and we both fought before he ended up overpowering me. He swore to permanently silence me the only way he could. Well, if you're wondering how I got the scars, now you know. I should have died that night, but I was once again saved, thanks to a man by the name of Amun. You see, Amun was an unforeseen consequence of the rift. A Shadarkai I accidentally pulled through when it opened. He came in time to save me, right as I passed out. A few days later, I woke up in an old ghost town with Amun next to me, and it didn't take long to realize that I was different after that night. I woke up with magic I didn't know I had, and my looks changed completely. My right eye went from blue to purple, and the skin around it turned from white to a bluish black. Turns out that I have drow blood in me, which explains why I have shadow magic as well as why my mind is still intact. We theorized that the rift, I guess, woken up the dormant half, as well as the magic I inherited. I spent a year learning how to get grasp of my powers. Amun was my mentor during that. The Coven had scattered, and neither of us could find any new information on them. I knew a place thanks to doing a few jobs for them here and there, so I hid my face behind the mask I had stolen and set off at 4 Guild in the hopes of finding some information to track them down. I was paired up with 4 others, and the rest, they say, is history.
Hello, friend. My name is Yune. I am a traveling cleric of sorts. I've wandered around most of Lilia, and I have to say, no matter the time period, it is always beautiful, from its people to the nature itself. As a cleric, my beliefs guide my life. My beliefs are something that I believe most people already believe, but might not realize it. I believe that love, mortal life, brings true happiness and enlightenment. I do not think this makes me more moral than others. It is just something I have clung to in order to keep sanity. I've lived a long time, far longer than any human should. While my body has been preserved, I'm beginning to feel tired, and for once I am not scared of sleeping. I've lived a good life, and I hope I have succeeded in bringing good to others. When I began my first few centuries of travel, I had made friends and even lovers, but as time grew, I became disheartened and detached, as I felt this is the only way to keep myself sane. However, in only a year, a time frame that is comparable to a grain of sand in my lifespan, I saw this group as family. In the centuries leading up to meeting this group, I would have seen myself more as a ghost than a person, fading into a village and fixing a problem, and then leaving without even speaking my name. However, through them, I feel human again. I have cried, drank, gotten angry, and even proud. I call them family, I mean it. I would give the world to see them succeed and achieve happiness. Love of my family has made me feel true happiness, and I am satisfied with this. Oh, and I like tea, and strangely, I have a taste for wine.
Not much is known about the Eladrin Lytian. He doesn't even know much about himself, really. All he knows is that he is from the Feywild, and ended up in Limbo, a plane of chaos. And after 50 years in Limbo, a rift opened up, allowing him to escape, but with some severe damage to his mind. The seasonal shifts in an Eladrin's personality became 4 separate personalities, who for nearly 2 years had no idea of each other's existence. First, there's Summer, who considers himself to be quite the gentleman, favoring fancy things and proper manners, although he does like some fire every now and then. Next is Fall. Fall is very laid back, wanting people to do what they want to do, while not hurting anybody. Then there's Winter, a scientist who prefers hands-on research, primarily on the anatomy of interesting beings. He doesn't care what he does for progress, that the kindness of the group might be rubbing off on him more than he'd like to admit. And finally, oh dear.
Hi, I'm Spring. The other seasons call me a child, but I think I'm very mature. So, I like to have fun and be nice to people, except those who attack me. I can be mean to those people.
Well,
Well, well, what do we have here? We're telling our stories, are we? The name's Mizara. Mizara J. Jagannath. I tell you what the J stands for, but I don't kiss and tell, darlings. Anyways, you're probably wondering who I am exactly, right? I'll keep it short and sweet since I'm in a bit of a hurry. So recently, I got invited to this fancy underground guild by one of the headmasters, specifically the one who runs the Cross of Crown. She said my expertise in, shall we say, trickery could prove to be quite useful. I hung around for a few weeks before the grumpy old dwarf headmaster called me in and told me that I'd be placed with the group for the time being. He said something about a mountain, interrupting his meals, and being owed big time. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention to it all. It's quite funny when he's angry. The group I got paired up with is quite eccentric, which is really saying something. They don't seem to like me very much, but it's nothing I haven't encountered before. I'm just here for my own benefit. You see, when I was younger, there was a small incident. Word of advice? Don't play a prank on a powerful magic user. Otherwise, you're going to end up cursed, which is basically what happened to me. I have this teensy little problem where I can't really remember anyone's true name, including my own. No fire resistance, no dark vision, none of my bloodline abilities, nothing. I want to find the bastard that did this to me and make them pay. But for now, I'm stuck with these guys for the time being. Lucky me.
My name is Neoma Astra. I was born in the capital city of Diamant in the Frost region known as Salertho around 250 years ago. There, I was not simply known as Neoma Astra. I was known as Neoma Eileen Astra Levin Leroux. I have not heard that name in a while. I'm glad I do not need to introduce myself as such anymore. But it's not as if I could solely introduce myself by my name. To everyone, I was known as 11, the 13th household daughter, Jacques and Elizabeth's one and only daughter, the fiancée to Dimitri Leroux and the future of the Leroux household. To them, I was a pretty face to be married off. My parents knew I would not act out, and I didn't. Not for a very long time, that is. But I'm not sure how much they know of what happened that night. I'm not sure what to call him. I know his name, but I do not dare say it. I don't think I can even say one of his many titles. Even if saying it would be better than saying his actual name. I know he's here. I know he's watching. I know that he's always watching. But not saying his name or his titles makes me feel at the very least a bit safer. He is mon patron, a person who lent me a portion of his power. But it's not as simple as he just gave me power. It started with a whisper, then some thoughts, some selfish thoughts, some I'm not the most proud of. I craved exploration, I craved adventure, I wanted an escape, I needed an escape, I had to escape. And he knew exactly what to say to keep me interested.
I can help. Escape. You escape. Escape from your family, new and old. Escape from your arrangements and even your family's secret. That is, of course, if you're willing to make a new arrangement and secret. One that could get you out of those that you are already in.
Who are you?
I have many names and titles, but you may call me the Whispered One.
What What is it that you wish me to do?
Simple. A signature.
What is it for?
It's key to access some of my knowledge so that you can explore, adventure, escape, so that you may live. Sign, my dear, and I'll share my knowledge with you.
And then nothing. He was gone. I signed it like a fool. I didn't stop to question what he wanted of me. My skin lightened, my hair lightened. Only recently have I started to gain color back, but I don't think I'll ever go back to what I once was. He knew I did not want to be married to someone who I did not share feelings for, but I have not told another soul of what I felt, not even my grandmother whom I loved dearly. I have not told anybody about finding out what my family has tried to keep hidden for many years, their false sense of judgment, how it was my responsibility to carry on the legacy in which I wanted no part of. I did not want to take a life. I did not want to make those calls as to who deserved it. Who was I to judge? Thinking back on it all of this is ironic. I did not want to take a life, but I was forced to do so upon his request. When I upset him, I had to prove my worth, prove my loyalty to him, and sought out those who I thought were bad people. Who was I to judge? Who was I to say that they were truly bad people? I know now I was just justifying something horrendous. I think I knew then, but I did not wish to admit it, so I turned a blind eye to the whole ordeal. I did all of that for him. And for what? I meant nothing. I was a tool to be used by him, and even up until I broke my pack, he was still using me. I don't like to talk about how I came to switch patrons. It comes with a not-so-pleasant story, but it has a lot to do with the odds, with luck. I was given a chance to see my life up until that point, and I was given an opportunity to break my pact with him, make a new one. He was far from pleased. I don't think I've ever seen him so furious, so angry. Even if I had Devondra there with me, I still feared him. I've never been more scared of him than I was in that moment. To him I was nothing, I meant nothing. I was nothing without him, nothing without his power. All I know is that I do not wish to think of what would have happened to me if she wasn't there to protect me from him.